Hey everybody, it's Jake from Sidedoor Media, back with another video. This time I'm going to do only Waves plugins mix, and I might put out a template too down the line. The only thing that I used by Pro Tools was lo-fi, using it as distortion on one of my ad-lib tracks and then saturation. So I've said it in a previous video, but if you have just a really clean preamp and you're trying to color up that sound and you don't have any other plugin besides like the stock stuff, I mean, maybe you have some of the wave stuffs, but just turn a little bit of saturation on, and that's just gonna kind of give some warmth to the signal a bit. It's really not that noticeable till your ears get a bit more in tune to listening for little details like that. So don't worry if you don't hear it. It's there, it's working. And like I said before, when you're mixing, for the most part, you're doing a bunch of small moves. So it builds up a little bit here, a little bit there. I think you got like a really awesome vocal mix. I'm going to show you the before and after. This is the before. I brought down the beat just a bit. Everything else is leveled. On the mix version, the ad-libs are going to be lower.
Every day, me and Dizzle in traffic tryna chase a bag. Tryna get a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. I'm fucking on this bitch, it got 'em mad. And if I have a downfall, they gon' be glad. I want them riches, cause right now I'm at them rags. And if he talking down, then he get his shit snagged. I need to bring me that pack, I need it now. Yo, bitch, looking like a fucking snack, I eat 'em now, hey.
Alright, and now I'll show you how it sounds mixed.
Every day, me and Dizzle in traffic tryna chase a bag. Get a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, it got 'em mad. And if I have a downfall, they gon' be glad. I want them riches, cause right now I'm at them rags. And if he talking down, then he get his shit snagged. Bring me that pack, I need it now. Yo, bitch, looking like a fucking snack, I eat 'em now, hey.
Alright, so we're going to go through it. Some steps I do before I start mixing. So I like to use clip gain. Actually, I brought this all down in line with the other takes of his. They kind of do a back and forth thing. We're only working on one of the vocalists on this example. So I clip gain because I don't want to be hitting the compressor lighter at this section and harder at this section of the vocals. But if your vocals, like say this little part was fine, but you come over here and it's a lot louder, you're going to clip gain it down. Also, these, I'm going to explain these a bit more. These are just takes from the actual verse. This is a delay throw, and so what I'm doing, there's a few different ways you can do a delay throw. Sometimes I do it this way, which after I do the mix on my main vocal, I'm going to, and I just want to work on my delays. I will duplicate this track without the playlist, but everything else. So your inserts and all your effects, your sends. And then what I do is I put a third delay, well, in this case, a third delay, another delay just on this track. This delay is going to be the delay for the delay throw. We'll get into that though. But just know that this is actually these vocals up here. It's not ad-libs or anything. That's what this is. So we have Lo-Fi. It's the only non-waves plugin we're using because I don't have. So I guess I could have used EQ3, maybe use this analog, press that in. I never really use this. Most of these plugins are from, well, all these plugins are actually from the Waves Gold bundle. I'm not using the SSL stuff and or Vocal Rider. So Waves Gold is like a really good deal if you wait for a sale. So I usually don't use this, but I kind of wanted to save space. And I wanted to do a lot of things. I wanted to gate. I wanted to do our initial compression. And I wanted to clean up the vocals. So first thing I did was my subtractive EQ. I'm really not going to go over in this video how you find it that much. But what you do is you take your frequency node or your EQ node, whatever it's called. You boost it. You do a pretty tight Q. Not the tightest, a bit wider. And then you sweep and you try to find the frequencies that are boxy. And you cut those out. Doing some dB. And then I do a high pass. So after that, I really didn't. I've been using gate more just because I find it helps you with, you just get these weird spots that you don't want to go and clean up totally, but you kind of want your gate to lower the volume on it. So I'm just having it affect these sections over here and here. Some of the breath will still come through, so it will sound natural. But you're gonna just use it a little bit here or there. He has a lot of pauses in his vocals, so it helps a lot. Instead of going in and trimming all this stuff, you just have your gate do it all. So the first compressor I do is doing a lot of the hard work, trying to get these peaks like here, 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 more in line. You're just trying to bring it down. So at the max, when it's really hitting those high peaks, like 5 dB of compression, of gain reduction. Fast attack and fast release, 4-to-1 ratio. That's kind of like the standard. It's a good place to start, if anything, because these are steps that people just use because they work. So learn those, learn why they work, and then, you can move on. But after that, well, let's listen to it now. We'll do it before and after.
Every day, me and Dizzle in traffic tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, and if I have a downfall, they.
So you can see it tying up the vocal some. Taking all that low end out is helping your high end. It's kind of like you're taking a blanket off somebody and then they're able to actually be heard. So after that, I actually took it off. And let's talk real quick about the signal flow for this. So it goes left to right. So your EQ is first, your gate, and then your comp, your compressor. And that's how I would do it if I was using 3 different inserts. I would do the subtractive EQ, I would do a gate, and then I would do my compressor. Why? Because in my mind, I don't want the compressor compressing and bringing up signal I don't want in the signal chain. So I'm not going to put the EQ after. I'm not going to put the gate after. The gate's going to have a harder time taking out those lower notes, that lower signal, because you've compressed it already. So you're letting the gate work easier. It's actually taking out what you want to take out, and you're not worried about it maybe cutting into a word, gating out a word. All right. So after that, I actually took this off. But since we took out, we're doing all this taking out, but we kind of want to add a bit of presence to the vocals. And how we do that is we just do a little bit of the high end. So I'm going to dial it back in. It doesn't take much on this.
Yo, every day me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag.
Download tracks like this at
I ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, and if I have a downfall, I want them riches, cause right now, and if he talking down, then he get his shit snagged. Bring me that pack, I need it now. Yo, bitch, look.
All right. Just want to give it some presence. The frequency range right there, it's kind of like where the magic is for presence. Your body's down here, a bit more warmth down here if you EQ. But his vocals, especially, they kind of have that body already. So I'm not looking to add anything too much in that range. After that, because we boosted, I just kind of want to bring those back down a bit, kind of smooth it out. Sometimes you don't need to do this part of the process, but I'm just going to show you. So you're going for a slower attack, slow release. You're going to play around with that a bit to find it where you're not compressing too much of those initial transients, but like the body, and that's kind of like what you want to kind of clamp down a bit.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag.
Download tracks like this at
I ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch.
Cool. And if you're having a hard time telling the difference, don't be upset. It's just because your ears aren't, like I said, your ears are still getting accustomed to listening to smaller details. Just keep mixing, because that's all you can do. That's the only way you're going to learn. So after that, I want to add a bit more presence, and I'm using Widening, and I'm just doing it to a bit of the mid-range and a bit on the high end. Just add a bit more presence and a bit more body, Just try things, sometimes. Sometimes you don't have to do much to the vocals.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag.
Download tracks like this at
I ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, and if I have a downfall, I want them riches, cause right now
you can hear it. It kind of brings the vocals a bit forward, and with rap especially, you kind of want the vocals right there in front of the face. Then after that, just a little bit of de-essing. Just get a few of the S's more in control.
every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag.
Download tracks like this at
I ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch.
And then after that, especially with this vocal, I did parallel compression because he kind of has that. His cadence is like he's in and out, in and out. You can hear it down here. Actually, I'll play.
Yo, bitch, looking like a fucking snack. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack.
So he's kind of in and out a bit. And what I'm trying to do is to lessen that. I want his vocals, like I said, to stand out front. He does it some on this first part of the verse too. And I do that. Let me bring the volume up. And let me just show you how I do it. So this is I've done this in past videos with other compressors. So I put the fader at unity. I put on pre because we're just going to mute our main vocal. We just want to hear the sound from the compressor.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now.
So you can hear how we brought those. It doesn't sound so back and forth. It's more kind of just in the face. And then on top of that, oh, there we go. I put a limiter on. I think that was on while I was playing the compressor. But I'm just kind of tapping down a bit more on those transients. Like I said, I'm trying to bring up the lows and squash them. So the lows and the highs are kind of like at the same volume level. Because I'm only going to put a bit of this signal back into the vocals. So I want those lower vocals, the ones where he's kind of like back off, I want them to stay more up front. Also make sure, like I said before in another video, delay compensation's on. If not, it's going to sound thin. Take this off of pre. We're going to feed them back into the mix with the dry vocals.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch.
We will listen to this part, see how it sounds.
Bring me that pack, I need it now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Hey.
Let's just do it before and after, just so you can hear the difference.
Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking snack. I eat 'em now. Yo, bitch looking like a fucking.
Cool. All right. What I'm doing is I'm doing a little slap delay. This is giving it some depth. So I'm just doing a little bit in the signal.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch. Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking.
You hear it? Gives a bit of 3D to the vocals. They don't sound so flat. Then we do our second delay, which is the first delay. And I'm using the preset. It's an awesome preset. Where is it? Rapvox. What makes this awesome is the phase button. And what that will do, and what that kind of does, is it makes the delay seem farther back. Let's we'll do a pre-delay. I mean, we'll do it on pre just so you can hear it.
Download tracks like this at lbeats.com.
Now we'll take the pitch, the phase off and watch. Watch how different it sounds. It sounds more up front.
Download tracks like this at lbeats.com.
Cool. After that, we forgot to do one. I forgot to set up one thing. So we'll do that right now. Is add doubler to. Just take off the direct, with this. I kind of take out the highs. I kind of level them back out. And I want to just starting here at a bit spread out. I don't want to put too much in or else it gets really thin down the middle.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, and if I have a downfall, I want them riches.
All right, just adding a bit of width, it's hard to get stuff like super wide with it sounding thin. And then lastly, we put the reverb on. So with reverb, I like to do an EQ before. I also do a bit on the actual reverb itself. Because you kind of get that like sizzle at the top end of reverb that I just hate. And I cut out some of the low end because I don't want to add reverb to low end frequencies. Just makes them more present. That's why I did this too at 250. I'm kind of doing this kind of like a vocal, except here I'm kind of having the mid range where kind of like the vocals sit, like the body of the vocals. I'm cutting that out. Because that kind of, what the issue with reverb is, if you have too much in there, your vocals sound far away. So this kind of lets you push it up a bit more so you have a bit more reverb on your vocals, but it's not giving you that issue as much on your body of the vocal, if that makes any sense.
Day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't.
And I'm using a plate or a hull work really well.
Every day, me and Dizzle in Chevy tryna chase a bag. Keep a long post on me, ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch.
So after doing the vocals, like I said, I duplicate that track and I'll have all my inserts exactly the same. So I'm not all dragging stuff down onto a new track. And then I add a new delay 3, which is just going to be for the delay throw. So with that, we're doing a quarter delay. We're giving a bit of a tail, not just a single delay, but kind of let trail off, adds a bit more depth. Then I'm doing some EQing on it, so kind of a bit of a telephone effect. Make sure to take analog off, and then afterwards I'm just trying to really get that telephony effect. So I'm kind of boosting around 2K. And then what I like to do, it depends on the song. This is more of like an open track. You can get away with kind of more spacey stuff. I just throw another reverb on it, so the delay is kind of reverbing. It sounds pretty cool. So this is without the reverb.
bitch, it got 'em mad. Don't be glad. I'll make them rags.
And here is with it.
She got 'em mad. Don't be glad. I'll make them rags.
Pretty cool, isn't it? You know, just mess around with it. Sometimes I will even put like distortion on the reverb, on the delay throw, just cause, you know, mess around with it. So I go in and I find the parts of the track, and what's usually a good rule of thumb is when you have something like this, like this is how it was originally, but you have this gap, and that's awesome because you as a mix engineer have stuff to play with when a vocalist gives you a gap like that. You can do these delay throws, you can do stutter effects. We actually have one. I'll show you right now.
I say, bitch, I'm a trap nigga.
See, you can stutter it. That's not a fast stutter. And then what I'll do is I'll pan them. Just do some automation. You know, you can have a lot of fun with these little spaces. But back to where we were. Okay, so I found, you know, like I said, there was a space. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to delay out these words and fill up that little time. So here we go. Take a listen to it.
Ain't talking about a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, it got 'em mad. And if I have a downfall, they gon' be glad. I want them riches, cause right now I'll make them rags. And if he talking down, then he get his.
You could also, because of the spacing in here, you could even do, I'll do a quarter note. Now you gotta be careful when you're doing delays. I find you kind of want to, when you're doing a longer delay, you want a bigger piece of audio to delay. Because if you don't, the delay is going to hit right after it stops the actual vocal. But if you have something short, it's going to say it, wait a second, then you're going to hear it. And you don't want that. You're trying to fill the space.
About a flag. Since I'm fucking on this bitch, it got 'em mad. And if I have a downfall, they gon' be glad. I want them riches, cause right now I'll make them rags. And if he
But I think there's a part of the song it didn't work that well on. Where is... Oh, yeah.
over money, bitch. Came in the party, bitch, I need a lick. You know I keep.
See, it doesn't sound that good there. And you could go in and then, you know, duplicate your, you know, make another, duplicate this and be like, okay, these bigger ones, I'm going to send to a delay with a quarter note. These smaller ones, I'm going to send to a delay with a, I'm going to send this to a delay with a half note, the bigger ones, and then the smaller ones I'm going to send to a quarter note. I'm going to stick to quarter on everything because it sounds good. And that's what counts. So we talked about that. We talked about the reverb. Okay. So then we got down to our ad-libs, which is fun too. So I just copied copied down everything. One thing I change, I'm trying to give it a telephone effect. So I'm scooping out more so the low end, leaving that mid frequencies, and then the high end I'm taking out too. Let's listen before and after.
Download tracks like this at lbeats.com.
They long. Be mad. Gonna be bad.
Yeah, it doesn't get lost as easy with the regular vocals. You can totally leave it, especially in gaps like this. Like, do I really need it on that one? No. Do I need it on that one? No. That one? No. But over here, yeah, because if I don't, you're going to hear it. Oh, another way you could get around that is with panning. Now, if you just want stuff down the center, I still recommend panning it over just a bit. It's not going to clash with the normal vocals as much, so it's going to be more noticeable. But another cool way to do it is there's a plugin. This is actually a Pro Tools plugin. I don't have sync to tempo. Set your, set how fast or slow it is. And then it's just going to pan back and forth. It's a bit more ear candy.
Download tracks like this at lbeats.com.
They long. Be mad. Gonna be bad. I need it.
Another way you can do it if you don't want to use a plugin is get all your ad-libs, straight. Then duplicate the track, so you got 2 mono tracks. Don't duplicate the actual the audio. Don't duplicate the audio. Set your first ad-lib track all the way to the left or wherever you want to put it, 49, and then set your second one the opposite, so 49 on the other side, and then drag every other ad-lib down to it, so it kind of bounces back and forth. Also with the H delay, you can ping pong, which is really cool on ad-libs. It gives a bit more dimension. Let's take that off. Okay, so that is it. Anyway, guys, that's it for the video. This is my second tutorial. I hope this one went a bit better. It's still very new to me, getting comfortable doing all this stuff. Usually I'm just a guy behind a computer mixing. So it's fun though. Anyway, if you don't want to do any of this mixing, you can contact me, Jake. You can email me at sidedoormedia.email@gmail.com or go to sidedoormediastudios.com, and at the bottom of the website there's an area where you can leave a message, and that is delivered to my email box, so I can talk to you through there. Check out the samples I have on my website, and if you like what you hear, please contact me. My rates are very reasonable. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. Bye.
lbeats.com.
I need a lick. I keep the stick. Look, she gon' eat the dick.
the code in these streets. We don't love these freaks. In and out them fucking sheets. In and out the fucking trap. Serving all these fucking tweets. Ayy, gang, snap, tell them what it is, blood.
I say, bitch, I'm a trap nigga. Get 'em in the corner, bitch, we fucking trap niggas. My gang shooters, they won't hesitate to clap niggas. And like a race, me and Dizzle fucking lab niggas.
Bitch, I need a lick. Smoking on that shit. Plotting on a nigga, love to flash his money. Boy, he better stop that stunning. Before I make him run it. All my shooters gunning. You know how we bumming. You know how we bumming.